Good afternoon. If y'all want to call it the afternoon, I think it's the afternoon where my brother is at. But right here, it's good evening. It's late night. All right, Rise Up Late Night. I am your host, Andre the Torch Robinson. Rise Up Unlimited Radio Show, WDAP Radio, TV. Y'all know what it is. You know how we do it. Make sure you like and share the show. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. We are on Facebook and YouTube right now. Listen, it's a real interesting Monday. And with an interesting Monday, I gotta tell you that this is one of the first times that the Rise Up Unlimited radio show is also bro time. With that being said, my brother from another mother that's right over here, right over there. You know what? Right there. You see him?
Yeah, right there.
Right there. My guy Rashad Sabering is in the building. What's good, Rashad?
Hey man, I'm good, bro. It's a blessing to be here, using this platform, man, to vent and get it all out, man. Talk about the sports and get to certain topics.
Absolutely. And those certain topics that he is talking about is these divisional games. We are going to first and foremost kick off Rise Up Late Night, Rise Up Unlimited, the radio show, WDAP Radio, TV. You guys are witness to one of the best radio shows right now, point blank, period. Like and share this joint. All right, like and share it. Shout out to Daddy O's Pizza, who services us phenomenally. Shout out to Miss Goodies as well. And with the goodies, we got to get to the goods.
Right.
Now, let's talk about this Green Bay Packers San Francisco game. We got to talk about it. Rashad, I want to know, go ahead and vent. Go ahead and get it out. Get it all out, brother. I'm here for you.
Hey, honestly, man, one of the biggest disappointments of the year. I'll be crazy if I told you I didn't expect this. Or because for the simple fact, it just seems like Aaron Rodgers is the greatest regular season quarterback, but when it means the most, he shrinks and he results back to bad habits, bad mechanics, and it's just unfortunate, man. And number one seed back-to-back years, Dre. Number one seed, bro. Back-to-back years. NFC championship games in back-to-back years, outside of obviously the divisional game. You don't not have a squad around you to get to those games like that. You have to have talent around you at the skill position, at the running back position, offensive line, defense, etc. Head coach or whatnot. But to cause this much of a ruckus this past offseason with throwing the franchise under the bus. And he was right in some of the things he said about the franchise. Certain things needed to change. I respect that. But to pretty much go silent, and pretty much your camp released that information to Adam Schefter during the draft to make the Packers feel what you felt drafting Jordan Love a couple years ago, when you were playing exactly how you were playing this past Saturday, was the main reason why they drafted Jordan Love.
Man.
So the fact that you did what you did this past offseason, you got the contract you wanted. Yes, they can trade you this year. This is your last year coming up on your contract. The next year is a voided year. So they can trade you this year if you requested it or whatnot. Even though we're in salary cap hell, to make so much of a fuss, then in the media, you lied to the media. The Green Bay Packers knew your status, but you lied to the media about your vaccination status. During this pandemic, it's become political. We know that. Whether you believe we're in a pandemic or not, we are. And this COVID-19 situation is real. This is coming from somebody who just experienced having COVID 2 weeks ago. I'm healthy now, tested negative, thank God. But COVID is real. And unfortunately, you lied to the media. You misled the media. into thinking you were vaccinated, but you weren't. So the Green Bay Packers dealt with that backlash. You wanted Randall Cobb. They dealt with that backlash. We went to go get you Randall Cobb. You didn't even throw to him in the NFC in the divisional game, so it doesn't matter. But you really wanted him. So I don't know why. Okay, so fast forward, number 1 seed, MVP, regular season MVP, great. I think the MVP should go to Cooper Kupp after last week. Hell of a performance by that man. And Dennis, no, I ain't been on the Cooper Kupp bandwagon at all. After last week, kid is legit. I'm not gonna lie, kid's legit. He comes up in big moments. The thing is, though, to do all of this, back-to-back number 1 seeds, and to get in this moment and only score 10 points where your defense does not allow a single touchdown from this quote-unquote run-dominant offense, Deebo Samuels and company, for them to hold that offense in check, force a turnover, get you the ball 9 times. He had 9 possessions and only scored 1 touchdown. And the touchdown he scored, he didn't even score. A.J. Dillon scored it. Right?
Mm-hmm. Keep going. I'm listening.
I mean, to get in this moment and shrink the way he did, which he has done throughout his entire career in the playoffs, he has shrunk, unfortunately, in some of the biggest moments. Everybody wanted to blame the defense. This year, you can't blame the defense. Top 10. Last year, you couldn't blame the defense. Another top 10 defense. A defense who picked off Brady 3 times, and you only had 6 points to show for it off of 3 turnovers. You go back to 2014, right? Seattle game, the debacle, right? Towards the end. Your defense, 5 turnovers. 5. You only score 6 points off of 5 turnovers. Your offense only scored 6 points. Can't say you didn't have weapons. You had Jordy Nelson, who was a 1,500-yard receiver. You had Randall Cobb, who was over a 1,300-yard receiver. You had Eddie Lacy at the time, a young Eddie Lacy, a motivated Eddie Lacy, who rushed over 1,300 yards that year.
Not Cheeseburger Eddie.
Yeah, yes, not Cheeseburger Eddie. This was in shape Eddie. This was Eddie that was taking the league by storm. Eddie Lacy, back-to-back over 1,000 yards rushing. Eddie Lacy. You had an offensive line that was one of the top offensive lines in all of football. You had the number 1 scoring offense in all of football that year. Your defense was opportunistic. They were up and down, but that same defense got you 5 turnovers, and you did absolutely nothing with it. Again, we can blame the defense for certain playoff losses. We can blame Mike McCarthy, that era. Mike McCarthy is gone. He's been gone for 3 years. You know who hasn't changed from that era? The main corporate hasn't changed. Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
So you get in these moments, you play with you don't play within structure, which why the Packers led to drafting Jordan Love, because they saw you not playing in structure. They saw the bad habits. They saw the hero ball. They saw the Tay vision. You only have Devontae triple coverage, but you still throw to Devontae. They saw the Tay vision. So for me personally, you can't say you didn't have the weapons. These are the same weapons that's been around you the last 3 years that led you to the number 1 scoring offense last year. That was a top 10 offense this year. It's just inexcusable at this point. You getting in these situations, Dre, and shrinking the way he did. And we're $42 million over the cap. Second worst in the NFL right now. They did all they could to accommodate this man the last 3 years, and they went all in to do what they needed to do the last 3 years. To me, it comes down to Aaron Rodgers, and it comes down to him shrinking in big moments. You have to score more than 10 points in a divisional game. You have to. You knew the special teams was bad. It's been bad all year. No excuse. Your defense top 10. No excuse. Again, I'm at a point now, Dre, where the organization being over 42 million over the cap this year, they gotta cut bait. You gotta cut bait. Get whatever you can for Aaron. Draft capital. Get everything you can for Aaron. And you gotta cut bait. You gotta move on into a new era. It's done. It's done in Green Bay. And that's my biggest take for the Rodgers era. It's great regular season quarterback, amazing regular season quarterback. You shrink when it matters the most. And you can't win in Green Bay. Outside of that long Super Bowl you had over 10 years ago, outside of that, you shrink in big moments.
Interesting enough, I wanna introduce the head shaker. What the head shaker? Marcus the Alphabets is in the house. Dalton D-Man Smith is in the house.
Oh yeah.
I got some comments I want to read too.
What's going on, family? How you doing?
Oh yeah.
Before I get into my take, Marcus, I want to read these comments, and then I want to shout out everybody too. What's up, family? He said, obviously, Marcus the Alphabets is in the building. Ray Francis said, sad Monday at that. William Richter is in the building. Ray Francis said, good to see both of you brothers. That's what's up. Mookie Hawkins in the building. By the way, 10 o'clock tonight, make sure you tune in to Waffle Sports. Waffle Sports, Power 96.5. Power 96.5, Mix 1080. Myself, the fire starter, and the coach will be on tonight talking about these divisional games again. All right? So make sure you like and share and tune in. Don't be a hater. Be someone who supports positivity in 2022. Adam, what's good? Double A is in the house. My guy, I heard through the grapevine, he will be out of Green Bay, of course. Special teams screwed him. They scored 10 points. The defense was rolling. Coverage towards Adams. Rashad is going in on Rodgers. I get it. Might be time to let go, but people, players and organizations will be patient with rebuild. Eddie was never in shape. LOL. He was the offensive rookie of the year. LOL. And Ramona Dye is in the building as well. All right. Let's get into the take on Green Bay. Now, Dalton D-Man Smith is in the house, obviously. Marcus the Alphabets is in the house. I got to say that one more time just to let you know. Rashad Sebring is in the house. You heard what he said. He delivered that with such eloquence. Masterful. It was masterful and surgical. But there is a few things that I need to nitpick at. And I'm going to take my little magnifying glass and I'm going to get there. So first and foremost, I agree with everything. Maybe it's time to give up Aaron Rodgers. Maybe it's time to move on from Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers might have to do the Peyton Manning thing to actually, get him another ring, right? We've seen this.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady thing, right? We've seen this before. Right. Guys, wear out their welcome where they at. They don't stay forever. Maybe it's a new day, a new dawn, a new time. Jordan Love, his dookie ass might have to step up. He might have to step up and do what he got to do because his time is up as far as waiting. Green Bay may need him now, unless you're going to bring somebody that's a free agent that can play the quarterback position. I mean, do the Green Bay Packers stick with Jordan Love and stick it out and take the bumps and go through a couple years of rebuild and being 6-10 or 6-11 or 5-12, or do they go get a free agent quarterback right now and continue to try to build this road on the road that Mike? Oh, I was about to say Mike McCarthy. Psych, I lied. My guy, Matt LaFleur, has built the last 3 years, 13-3, 13-3, 13-4. Do you continue on that road? Those are questions that need to be answered. Now, as far as Aaron Rodgers and the whole debacle, I feel like the Packers owed him some stuff. I do. I feel like the Packers owed them a little bit more respect, and that's understandable. Rashad, you spoke on that a little bit, and in the segment that you just had as far as the Green Bay Packers. But there is one thing I need to mention. I need to mention the fact that folks keep talking about this vaccination thing real quick. Right. I just want to put this out there. And I think we had this conversation, Rashad.
I think we did.
Yeah. We did. We had this in past.
Yeah.
I want people to stop sitting up here using that as an excuse for why the Packers failed this year. Don't use that as an excuse. I don't want to hear it. Don't use that as an excuse for the reason why they got blew out by Dalton Smith's Saints the first game of the year. What was it, 38-3? They got blew out. Don't use that as an excuse. But at the same token, on the other hand, I want people to understand media to player relationship. I want people to understand that. When the media asks you a question that you really don't have to answer by law,
right?
Silly questions, I was always taught back in the day, silly questions get silly answers.
Yeah.
Really stupid get stupid, you know what I mean? You would get stupidness if you buffoonery is the word I always hear.
Yeah, same here.
My guy Marcus the Alphabets use. Buffoonery, right?
Yeah,
you don't ask this man about his immunization. It's not your business, first of all. Right. It's his personal business. He didn't have to tell you, but he duped you because he said immunized. That was immunized. Man, we all know what immunized means. Measles, mumps, rubella. They ain't got nothing to do with COVID, right? So he put you through the ringer. But we know, Rashad, me and you, we know, and others who pay attention to Aaron Rodgers, we know he's a certified ASS hole, right? Mm-hmm. We know he is.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that he did that. But I want people not to use that as an excuse. And as far as getting to this game that we saw, the divisional game, dude, they deserve to lose. I know people was waiting for me to be upset. They was waiting for me to be mad. They was waiting for me to be angry. I'm not angry. You wanna know why? There's two reasons why I'm not angry. Number one, because when you do what you just did, I really can't be angry. I got to just take what it is, relish it, and ingest that and move forward. And two, because the Packers don't freaking pay me. So I don't care. Like, he's taking this way too far. They don't pay me. I cover a different team. I don't cover the Packers. They don't pay me. So I ain't mad about that. Aaron Rodgers could have put up a touchdown. He could have did more in this game. I get it. The second half, the whole weather thing. Yeah. I watched Josh Allen throw 5 touchdowns in bad weather. I ain't hearing it, right? Then you got, the special teams. There is something that needs to be said, and everybody need to understand this. Mm-hmm. The teams that are taking a dirt nap right now, whether it's the Packers, the Bills, the Cowboys, the Titans, whoever it is taking a dirt nap, is because they got exposed from their biggest weakness during the regular season.
Right.
Point and mention. Tennessee, secondary. Big weakness. They were bottom 10 in secondary this year in the pass game. Got exposed. Cincinnati exposed them. Buffalo got exposed for the bad coaching calls. Again, I don't know how many games we got to talk about organizational moves and bad coaching calls. Not making the right decisions in critical moments. They got exposed. Defense got exposed. Run game, passing game without Tre'Davious White got exposed last night. Mm-hmm. Who else? Tampa Bay secondary got exposed. The Rams exposed them for the frauds they are in the secondary. Cooper Kupp.
Their defense been inconsistent all year though.
Correct. Went 8 on them, which is good, right? That's good for them. You got exposed. Who else got exposed?
Cowboys 14.
The Cowboys.
14. Titans. Ryan Tannehill.
Right, Ryan Tannehill. Exposure. And if you don't clear up those exposures, teams expose that in the playoffs and you go home taking a dirt nap. That's what it is. The Packers deserve to take a dirt nap. Yep. They did not do enough to win this game whatsoever at all. The defense played, but the offense went stagnant. Went cold. Exactly. It went cold. And then the special teams blew it.
Awful.
by allowing a block punt with 4 minutes left, and you lose. You turn around and lose.
Yeah.
I swear to God, listen, I swear to God, when it comes to the Packers and the Bills, WWE couldn't have scripted those endings any worse than that.
Right.
WWE couldn't script a game like that, where you lose by a block punt to a team that you couldn't beat. 4 times now, Aaron Rodgers can't beat the 49ers in the playoffs. The Buffalo Bills, you get beat because you didn't swift kick at the end of the game instead of kicking it out the end zone. He kicked it out the end zone and should have swift kicked it, which would have been 1 play instead of 2. And then what? The game's over. But instead, they did the dumb stuff. You make dumb, errant mistakes, and you pay for it. Patrick Mahomes made them pay.
Okay. I got to jump in there.
2 plays, 45 yards, 10 seconds, and that dream of the AFC Championship being home. No. It took 10 seconds. There was 3 seconds left on the clock when they kicked the field goal. So 10 seconds. In 10 seconds, Patrick Mahomes went 45 yards in 2 plays because the defense played prevent on top of the fact that he already didn't swift kick the ball. Unreal. You can't script that. That's stuff that just should not happen. Now, I'll let Marcus the Alphabets and Dalton Smith talk about these games. Okay. Go ahead.
First, I'm gonna rebuke everything that you just said. First off, you're saying Aaron Rodgers is an asshole. Aaron Rodgers is an asshole. Yeah. People weren't mad at him about being unvaccinated. There's lots of players that are unvaccinated. Right. The issue that they were mad with is because he was walking around the facility with no mask on. What is the policy with the NFL if you're not vaccinated?
Yeah.
So they're thinking because he implied that he was vaccinated, and then he's walking around the facility breathing on everybody when the NFL rule is if you're not vaccinated, you wear a mask.
Whoa, Rashad, can I ask you this question? Me and you talked about this, Rashad. I got a rebuttal question before you go on, Marcus.
Okay.
If it's so important to the league, right?
Yeah.
How come the league didn't hand down any suspensions? How come the league left it to the team? So let me ask you this question. If I leave it to you, wait a minute, Marcus, let me finish. Let me finish the thought. If I leave it to you to crack the whip, and you don't crack the whip, did he violate for real? Or is it,
Dre, the bottom line is he made it seem like he was vaccinated.
Right, but you got to answer the question.
That's why, that's fine. And that's why the Packers got punished too. Because we're putting it in your hands and you didn't do it. He lied.
The Packers
sometimes it's like it's like my ex-girlfriend. She used to say to me, not telling me certain stuff is like lying too.
Right, of course, yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? This is if I say, did you go out with that girl over there? No, we didn't go out. We stayed in. Okay, but I was still with her. Right. I was still with her. Did you go out with that girl last night? No, we stayed at her apartment and we hung out.
The Packers knew he wasn't vaccinated, though.
So not giving all of the information is lying too. That's what they're mad about. He was walking around the facility like he was vaccinated. So please stop with the crap. Okay.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Wait a minute, though. Is it again? And that goes back to my question I just asked you. If it was so important to the NFL, why didn't the NFL crack the whip on that? And why did they leave it to teams to determine?
They did. When they find Rodgers and they find the Packers. He
find them what?
He eliminated information. That's the same as lying. He was walking around the facility. If you say, hey, only vaccinated players can walk around the facility without a mask, and you're walking around without a mask, I'm going to assume that you're vaccinated. Stop it. Number 2.
Well, hold on, Marcus. I go back to the question. Is it your business to know whether you're
It's
vaccinated
no
or
rules. Is it your business to know at your job when you have certain stuff?
Marcus,
It's your job.
Marcus, you
You're
do
an
realize there's a
employee.
certain thing called a HIPAA law, right?
You're an employee. They can tell you all kind of stuff. There's businesses. You go to business, they say no shoes, no shirt, no service, right? Can the business tell you that? No shoes. You run a store.
Yep.
Does somebody come up there barefooted? Well, it's my freedom. I can walk around with it. Yeah, you can, but you can't do it up in here. No shoes, no shirt, no service.
Right.
You're an employee. You're an employee of the NFL. That's what you agreed to. NFL Players Association, it's a union. When you signed on the dotted line and you got this guy, everybody agreed to what that was. So stop the crap. Number 2, I saw Josh Allen throw for all these yards in the game, and I didn't see Aaron Rodgers do it. Who was the Packers' number 2 receiver? Because I saw yesterday the Bills' number 2 receiver, Gabe Davis, have 201 yards receiving. Who's the Packers' Gabe Davis? Who's the Packers' Gabe Davis?
Alan Lazard.
Randall Cobb.
Okay.
These are the same guys that have put up major numbers the last few games.
I got you on that. Listen, guys. Everybody's sitting up here. Oh, Aaron Rodgers hasn't won these. Aaron Rodgers hasn't won these games. You know who else didn't win these games? Drew Brees. How many Super Bowls does Drew Brees have?
1.
How many does he have? Did he choke? Hang on. Did he choke when Stephon Diggs, not the Stephon Diggs from the Bills, Stephon Diggs from the Vikings catches that thing and they missed the damn tackles and they beat the Saints at the end? Is that on Drew Brees? So why are y'all putting the same crap on Aaron Rodgers?
Because Drew Brees is not even in the same breath as Aaron.
Some people say he is. Do you know that Drew Brees?
Are you
okay? I think that's a stretch to say that Aaron and Drew aren't in the same league, but it's situational. Aaron Rodgers has fumbled the bag himself in the playoffs, where Drew Brees has not.
What?
Aaron Rodgers has himself cost those Packers teams games where Drew Brees has not himself really cost the Saints.
Okay. Hang on. What did Aaron Rodgers do? What did Aaron Rodgers do to lose that game? You're going to blame Aaron Rodgers?
What did he do to win the game?
Yeah, exactly. And when you're Aaron Rodgers, when you're a league MVP, you're supposed to win the game, not just keep a team in it.
Bro, you're talking about a quarterback that was MVP in the regular season. You can't be an MVP without talent around you.
How about this, guys? The past 20 MVPs, you want to know what they all have in common? None of them have won the Super Bowl.
And that's cute. We're not. That's irrelevant, bro. We're talking.
Well, that is relevant. Just because you're all of them, the MVPs don't generally win. Who was the MVP of the league last year?
It was
Aaron Rodgers.
Who was the MVP?
Guess who had the number 1 offense in the league last year with no weapons? Aaron Rodgers.
Here's the thing about it, though, guys. People eventually adapt to you. Do you know what the formula is to beat the Packers? I'm going to give you the formula. Because here's the thing. When you start playing for so long, you want to know what the formula is? And we're starting to see certain formulas. To beat the Packers, you know what it is? Take away Devontae Adams. Roll coverage towards Devontae Adams. Roll coverage towards it. They've done it every. Now let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all this real quick, because again, y'all are putting this on Aaron Rodgers. Who would have
no. Don't misspeak, because I put it on more than just Aaron Rodgers. I put it on.
Dre, I'm saying there's people out there putting. Who would have helped the Packers yesterday and then the NFC Championship last year more? Jordan Love or Justin Jefferson?
Probably Justin Jefferson. But here's
do we see what Justin?
But here's the crazy part. When you only have Tay vision, we call it Tay vision in Green Bay.
Yep,
and you only throw to one receiver, regardless whoever you have.
You have because you have a generational. You have a generational wide receiver, the best wide receiver in the game.
Okay,
he's still winning his. How many yards did Devontae Adams have in the first half yesterday? Then it started snowing. But the bottom line is, when you draft a player, what are our expectations for first round players? What are our expectations as far as their contributions to a team?
You better produce. That's what it is.
Okay, you wasted a first-round pick on Jordan Love when you could have had a number 2, probably the best number 2. Is Justin Jefferson a top? Is Justin Jefferson a top 5 wide receiver?
Hell
Yeah. But here, no. You're
Justin
right.
Jefferson's not. Justin Jefferson's
It's
not
too
a top
early to
5
say he's a
receiver.
top 5 receiver. Are you kidding me?
Who was number 2 in receive? Who was number 2 in receiving this year? I'll
It's still
help you
too
out.
early.
Who was number 2 in receiving yards
I
this
give you
year?
that. I give you
Answer
that.
the question.
You're right.
Justin Jefferson. Yeah.
I give
Okay,
you that.
you don't think if you put Justin Jefferson on the other side of Devontae Adams, that won't help Aaron Rodgers out?
Right. You're right. And I
mean,
give you
putting
that.
Justin Jefferson on the opposite side of anyone will help any quarterback.
Right.
Okay, but I'm just
fair.
saying, they didn't
And
do
you're-
that.
and
They didn't
you're
do
right
that.
about
They
that.
tried to go get a quarterback.
He still
They-
is an MVP quarterback. What you said a couple of minutes ago,
I got
and
you.
I've been waiting to tear this one down about
Okay.
teams figuring him out or figuring
Yeah.
that team out. When you
Yeah.
are in the breath of an Aaron Rodgers, in the
Uh-huh.
breath of the greats, you don't get figured out. Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowls because regardless if they figure him out or not, he's still going to win.
But see, here's the thing about it. Tom Brady's played 22 years. He's got 7 rings. He didn't win every year. What did he do his last year in? What did he do his last year
Got
in
more
New
than one.
England? Hang on. What did Tom Brady do his last year in New England? And why did he leave New England? Answer the question.
Listen,
We're
not gonna
talking
talk
about him now. How did Tom Brady look in his last year in New England?
He didn't look as horrible as the media would like.
No.
to believe.
We're talking about Tom Brady, the GOAT quarterback. How did he look in his last year in New England?
Like a top tier quarterback still.
He got bounced in the first round of the playoffs. Then he leaves. He goes to Tampa Bay. They surround him with Leonard Fournette, a first round running back. He goes against Antonio Brown.
We're not about to act like Leonard Fournette coming to the Bucks was prime AP coming back from an ACL injury. No, we're not about to do that.
He can't. Tom Brady won the Super Bowl last year. They put a team around him. They gave him some weapons. They brought his homeboy back, Gronk. They go get Antonio Brown. They give him Chris Godwin. They give him Mike Evans. They give him Leonard Fournette. And he goes and wins the Super Bowl. And he gets bounced in the first round in his last year in New England. Now, let me tell y'all something. Let Aaron Rodgers, and you got the cool thing about these shows is we got receipts. Okay, we got receipts, and we can call this all back. Let Aaron Rodgers go to the Broncos. Let Aaron Rodgers go to the Dolphins with some weapons, 2 or 3 receivers around him where he just has multiple options, and he doesn't have to lock on a one wide receiver. The Green Bay Packers, here's the bottom line with the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers fans, y'all are spoiled. You want to know why you're spoiled? Because you've had Hall of Fame quarterback play for 30 years. Hall of Fame quarterback play for most teams. You look at a lot of these teams, they haven't had a quarterback. The Miami Dolphins haven't had a good quarterback since Dan Marino. The Bills, they just got Josh Allen. What was their quarterback situation like before Josh Allen? You remember the JP Lossman days?
Trent Edwards.
Right. Hold on, real quick. I just looked at something, Marcus, the alphabet. Before you get to talking about stuff that you may not be the greatest averse in, I need you to go look up the HIPAA law and tell me in the HIPAA law where it says no EAD is above the HIPAA Law Privacy Act. PHI, sir, no EAD is above the HIPAA law. So with that being said, Aaron Rodgers does not have to tell his vaccination status whatsoever, sir, which is what I just told you. Go look at it, sir.
Again, Dre, he doesn't have to, just like in the military, we used to have a law that was called don't ask, don't tell. Okay? It's kind of the same difference. Wow. The thing is, you're assuming because he's walking around the facility that he's unvaccinated. He doesn't have to say anything.
Marcus, when you assume, what does it do? What does the word assume do? make an ass
What
out of you
are the
and me,
team-
right?
What are the NFL rules, Dre? You keep going around the thing.
No,
The
ain't no
NFL
going
says-
around the bush. The
Yeah.
NFL rule does not supersede the HIPAA law.
If you
Wait,
don't,
if we're
if
gonna
you're
speak
not
about-
vaccinated, if
If
you're
we're going to
not
speak about
vaccinated-
NFL rules, if we're going to speak on NFL rules,
It
it's been
doesn't.
reported that the NFL and the Packers knew of his vaccination
They
status.
did.
He just wasn't
Or
telling
did.
the media.
This is
So
what I'm
we're
trying
going
to
to go by
tell you.
NFL league
And
rules.
that's
Go.
good.
We
And that's-
knew.
Okay, and we're giving the same heat to Cole Beasley. We're giving the same heat to Antonio Brown,
No, we're
who's
not.
forging
No, he ain't.
vaccination
Wait a
cards.
minute, Marcus.
Forging
You know I
vaccination
know
cards.
Cole Beasley. What heat did Cole Beasley catch besides social media heat? What heat?
Yeah, they just call him a lame on Twitter. That's
I'll
it.
wait.
Well, I'm just saying he's taking a lot.
Well,
He's taking a lot of heat for it. He's good, but we're getting way too
No,
far. with
go
the
ahead. I
vaccination.
just wanted to put
We're
that
getting
out
way
there
too
real
far with
quick.
the vaccination
Go ahead,
thing.
go back to
The
the-
bo-
go
the
back
bo-
to
the
the-
bottom
I just
the
want to-
bo- the bottom line is quarterbacks need. How did Patrick Mahomes look last year when all in the Super Bowl when his offensive line was gone? How did he look last year? How did Tom Brady look in 2007 against the New York Giants, the undefeated Patriots team? How did he look when O.C. Umenure and Justin Tuck and Michael Strahan were after him and Randy Moss? How do you look in that game?
He didn't look good in that game.
No.
Here's the thing about quarterbacks,
But
people.
Tom Brady has won multiple titles with Julian Edelman at receiver and Gronk at tight end.
Rob Gronkowski. What would Rob Gronkowski rank as far as tight ends in the history of the NFL? Top two, top three.
Regardless, he had Edelman at the slot,
Mhm.
and he had two running backs
Definitely top
and
three.
Gronk. That's it, bro.
Gronk is definitely top 3 all
And
time.
to rebuttal your argument about Rodgers in the NFC Championship last year, MVS had over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown.
And we all know
In
that
that game.
MVS, and we all know that MVS in some games is harder to find than Carmen Sandiego, Waldo,
Regardless,
and
he
Osama
stepped
bin
up in
Laden.
the biggest
We all know
game.
that.
He stepped
We
up
know
in the
that
biggest game of the year.
MVS is as inconsistent as there come.
And that's great. He stepped up in the biggest game of the year.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, so
Okay.
outside of Devontae,
Yeah.
it was MVS had over 100 yards receiving and a tub. They could not stop him.
And Marcus,
And then
how
you had
was
Devontae.
the Packers the number one offense if it's only
Offense with no
Devontae?
weapons.
With
Okay.
no
Okay,
weapons.
how was
tight
the
end led the league in touchdowns.
Buffalo Bills defense, the number one defense that got 42 points put on them yesterday and lose to the damn Jacksonville
I'm
Jaguars?
so
Oh,
glad
okay.
you said that, 'cause
But-
see,
but-
this is-
You gonna take it
Yeah,
there?
But
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna take it there. Y'all are
but the
y'all are
Packers
saying-
picked off Brady 3 times and Rodgers only scored 6 points.
Okay, and the Buffalo Bills defense was number one, and they got 42 points put on them. And
Okay, so how-
and then a
how's
team
that not
and then
on
a team
Rodgers?
score and
How's that not on Rodgers? How's that not on
okay,
Rodgers?
I'm just saying if y'all are gonna get passes, like
I'm not
that,
giving no
you give-
passes.
Yeah,
Like,
no
'cause I don't
pass.
give passes.
At all.
I don't
I'm
give-
telling you, he's had weapons,
Okay,
and not only that, he's had a defense. When your
Okay.
defense picks off Brady 3 times and you
Uh-huh.
only score 6 points, when you have the number one offense in all of football,
I got you.
Yeah, he be looking like that
Here's-
boy on the
here's-
center. in
how's that
San
not
Francisco
on
in the
you?
playoffs.
Here's the thing about it though, guys. And I tell people this all the time, family. Quarterbacks get way too much credit when things go right, and they get way too much blame when things go bad. You know, let me ask you this. Do you think just jumping over to basketball for a second, just jumping over there? Do you think Reggie Miller was a good player?
Reggie's one of the greatest shooters of all time.
Do you think Patrick Ewing was a great player?
Yes, he's one of the greatest
Do you
centers
think-
of all time.
Do you think John Stockton and Karl Malone were great players?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Do you know what the one common denominator was with all of them?
None
They
of them
have
had
no
a ring.
title.
They played in the Jordan era. And
Right.
sometimes you play in the era. Here's the thing with Aaron Rodgers, and he's still a great player, but a lot of players in this era now, you're in the Tom Brady era. And
That's
Aaron
great.
Rodgers was kind of in in the Tom Brady and the Drew Brees and the Tom Brady and the Drew Brees and the Peyton Manning era and the Eli Manning era.
And I get
Eli
that.
Manning era.
Eli Manning's got two in the Eli Manning
don't get no era. I don't care if he
Not
won
the Eli era.
No era.
Yeah, no, but I'm
You
saying
don't put
the
era in
no,
front of his name.
I'm saying the
That's no
quarterback.
excuse. That's no
There
excuse.
is an excuse. There's only one quarterback. There's only one team every year. One team every year. As great as Josh Allen played yesterday, guess what? As great as he played yesterday, he had a phenomenal game. And guess what? You know what it is? He's in the Patrick Mahomes era.
And that's great. He's gonna eventually get that.
So who says that? Everybody, you know what they said that about too, fam? Jim Kelly, when he went to 4 straight Super Bowls. It's not a guarantee. Do you know that?
No, it's not a
Dan
guarantee.
Dan Marino went to the Super Bowl in his second year and never went back.
But here's the
Where
thing.
Dan Marino was.
Brady throwing 3 picks last year in the NFC Championship and Rodgers not capitalizing. Is that just because of Brady? No, bro. No.
Tom Brady has broken a lot of people's heart. He broke Peyton Manning. Do you consider Peyton Manning?
That's on Rodgers for not scoring, bro.
Yes, totally.
I got you. Do you consider Peyton Manning a great quarterback?
He is. He's one of the greatest of all time.
And he's got 2 rings, and he won 1 with Indy, and he was in the same division with Brady in the AFC East when the Indianapolis Colts used to be in the AFC East, and he couldn't get past them. He couldn't get past them. Sometimes people just
his defense picked off Brady 3 times, he would have got past them.
Oh, wait a minute, Rashad. You know what's so funny? I'm glad that you say that. Because as soon as Peyton Manning went to a team with some legitimate defense, he smoked Tom Brady's boots multiple times in the playoffs. And not only did he smoke his boots in the playoffs, but he won a Super Bowl and went to 2 with Denver. He went to he went to the same amount of Super Bowls in Denver in the 4 years that he played than in the 14 that he played with the Colts. If we talking about quarterbacks, then we need to say that football is the ultimate team.
Exactly. Let Aaron Rodgers go to a team winning not just a good team, not just a good defense, but an elite defense with several wide receivers.
Right.
Do you see what Tom Brady did when they said, you know what, Tom? What do you need, Tom? What do you need, Tom? Because in New England, they were like, look, you're getting older now. And here's the other thing. People act like Aaron Rodgers is 25 years old. What is he, like 38, 39?
I'm sorry, that's not good enough for me.
He can't carry a team.
He's not carrying nobody. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He's not carrying anyone the last 2 years.
Yeah, that get him.
He didn't give up a touchdown on Saturday. They didn't give up a touchdown.
No, but his special team. What are the 3 phases of football?
One time.
What are the 3 phases of football? What are the 3 phases of football?
I give you the special teams. How does he not score more than 10 points?
That matters.
How do you not score more than 10 points?
That matters. If you're in a tight game and your special team gives up 10 points, it matters. It matters.
Injured Jimmy G, they shouldn't have been in a tie game, though. They should not have been in a tie game against Jimmy G with a thumb injury.
Yeah,
your defense gave you 9 possessions. You know what you did? 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, punt. How do you not score more than 10 points?
It's hard. It's very hard to win championships.
Again, this is why that argument is null.
Trent Dilfer has a Super Bowl. Exactly. Trent Dilfer has a Super Bowl. You know what they did to him the year after they won the Super Bowl? They got rid of his ass.
And that's exactly what Green Bay will do.
For Elvis Grbac. I'll say this, and I'll go on the line, and y'all got the receipts right here. You let Aaron Rodgers go somewhere and put some weapons around him, put some elite weapons around him besides just one elite wide receiver, and see what he does.
Here's what I'm going to say to that. Marcus, you know how many times the Packers punted against the 49ers in that game?
How many?
5. You know how many times the 49ers punted against the Packers?
How many?
5. How the hell is the quarterback play even between the two?
Because one of them one of them is it safe to say? Is it safe to say? I'm going to ask y'all, and I got my opinion. I'm going to ask y'all this: whose defense is better, the Packers or the 49ers?
Saturday
49ers,
night
by
it was
far.
the Packers.
You think the Packers defense is better than the 49ers defense?
Did they give up a touchdown?
Hell no.
They didn't. Did the 49ers give up a touchdown? Yes, they did.
Sure.
Did they
Yeah.
pick off Jimmy
Yeah.
G? Yes, they did. Did Aaron Rodgers throw a pick? No, he didn't.
No, he didn't throw any picks.
So that's what I'm saying. Your argument doesn't make sense, bro. I'm sorry. It doesn't. It makes no sense.
The 49ers, the Packers defense gave up 3 points, a field goal, but what killed them in that game was the block punt for six
And
for
not
7
scoring more than 10 points.
I have a question, Marcus.
13-10. They got 10 points off of special teams. 10 points off of special teams.
What did Rodgers do?
Yes,
What's the
that's where I want to get to. Marcus, I have a question for you.
What's that?
Do you believe Jimmy G is on the same level as Aaron Rodgers?
Hell no. If you do,
If you say yeah, you
I'm
got
done.
him up.
Please.
Come on, bro.
Done.
Come on, bro.
That's why Blaze just said that in the comment section, and I'm
No.
like, Blaze, that's
No.
my point. How the hell
So
do
at
I
full
argue at
health,
the same
Jimmy G
level of
is
play?
not seen on the same level as Aaron Rodgers. Now we're not even talking about fully healthy Jimmy G. We're talking about Jimmy G with a thumb injury
Right.
in a close playoff game like that.
With Aaron
The
Rodgers.
reason you have an MVP
Who's never?
quarterback
Wait a
is
minute.
supposed to
Let me
be
add the
difference
element
maker
too.
in a playoff
Who's
game
never-
like that, and
who's
he was
never-
not. He
Yeah,
played
what-
like
quotes,
Alex Smith
quotes.
and tried to be a game manager.
Quotes. Add the part that Jimmy G has never thrown in cold weather either.
Ever.
On time.
It was
Oh,
5
I know.
degrees.
Get
The
up,
coldest
bro.
game he
You
ever
can't
threw.
make
It was
that
38.
You can't make it up.
No, that's not. They said in the pros he played at Northern Illinois, guys.
Bro, you
Believe you
can't.
me, he
I don't
played-
care. That
he
don't matter.
should-
We
he
talking about
should
in the
know.
pros.
Bro, you
You
can't
should
make
know.
this up, bro. So Aaron
He been in
Rodgers
the league
going
for how long?
elsewhere. I
He
hope
played.
he does.
He played it. Guys, y'all act like he's been at San Francisco his whole career. He started off in New England. We know it gets cold in New England, right?
He was
right.
on the bench.
I got you.
The only thing he was throwing was Gatorade to Tom Brady when
Exactly.
he
For
was
real. He was not playing ball, just
He-
Hey,
vibes.
and Tom was still winning Super Bowls with Edelman at the slot and Gronk, and that's it.
I just don't think that. I just don't put this game on Rodgers. Could
No,
he
it's
have
on
done more?
Rodgers, bro.
Could he
The
have
last
done?
2 years been
Could he
on
have
Rodgers.
done? Could he have done more? Could he have done more? Yeah, probably so. But
You know
when
what
you-
Rodgers? Hold on, Marcus. You know what
points,
Rodgers' QBR was for the day for the night?
Rodgers QBR, what was it?
19. Sir.
Hey, and his defense got him
Wait a
and his
minute.
defense got him
No.
a turnover. And sacked Jimmy G 5 times.
But,
And didn't give up a touchdown.
but I will say I will say this though. I really do believe who's the tight end that they lost?
Tunyon?
Kanye?
Ryan.
I think yesterday there were two. Here's the other thing too. The 49ers defense was getting after him. What I saw in the game, and you can people can say it's an excuse or a reason. Where are we going? Hang on. Is it an excuse or hang on? Let me ask y'all this. Where do y'all have Bakhtiari ranked as far as left tackles?
They've been playing
Oh,
without
one of the
Bakhtiari
best in the
all
league.
year.
One of
They've
the
been
best in the
playing
league, but they
without
didn't have him all
Bakhtiari
year.
all year.
Right.
Okay, but in the biggest of games, and you're lined up against Nick Bosa.
That's great. They beat him earlier in the year by chipping him with no Bakhtiari. That's an excuse, bro. I'm sorry. You can't
Marcus,
make that argument when Bakhtiari wasn't playing all
It's
year.
a whole. Okay, and the Buffalo Bills beat the Kansas City Chiefs early. There's more at stake, guys.
And they
There's
put up
more at
over
stake.
10, and Josh Allen put up
wait a
over
minute.
10
Wait a minute.
points.
Hold on, watch this, Rashad. Well, here's another reason why Buffalo lost yesterday. No Trey White.
Trey White would not have made a difference, bro. The
Oh
Chiefs
my
took.
God! Stop!
Best corners in
Hang
all
on,
of
hang on,
football.
hang on, hang on, hang on.
That's
Now
one of
y'all
the best
want me
corners in all
to
of football.
let me
bro.
rebut. If I'm gonna say,
Hold on.
Bro.
Marcus, you said Trey White. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Tyreek Hill cooked. Tyreek Hill cooked. Trey White in the AFC Championship game last year.
No. We talking about this year, Marcus.
We talking about this year,
Not
bro.
last year.
But
This
it wasn't
year, Marcus.
Tyreek Hill. It wasn't Tyreek Hill that did all the damage in this game. You know who else did damage to the Bills? Mecole Hardman, Byron Pringle,
If Trey
Travis
White's
Kelce.
out there, he shuts down half that damn field. You know that.
Not necessary.
Yo,
Not
you're
necessarily.
bugging.
Not necessarily.
Marcus,
Bro, that's
you're
one of the
bugging.
best
You
corners
gotta
in
say,
all of
watch
football.
Watch this, Rashad.
Come on, man.
Watch this. I can't, Marcus. This
Yeah.
is why. First of all, Trey White was one of the reasons. Just lining up out there, the reasons why Buffalo beat Kansas City earlier in the year, because you can double Kelce when you have Trey White.
No,
Right,
what,
because
do you
he
want to know
shut
the
down
reason?
half the
No,
field.
do you want to know the
Double.
reason? Do you know the reason why the Bills beat the Chiefs in the first game?
I know why.
Oh, okay, I'm going to see if me and you had the same answers. Basically, what happened in that game and the first part of the season, the Chiefs came out still trying to do the same crap they've been doing 2 years, just bombs away, 50 points a game. So what all the teams started doing, and they started the season 2-3, right? What teams started doing was doing a cover 2 shell. Well, you know what? We're not going to let anybody behind us. And Patrick Mahomes was still trying to throw bombs to Tyreek Hill. What changed for the Chiefs this season and for the later part of the season was they start. Okay, y'all want to play a cover 2 shell on us? And the Chiefs found a running game. They found a running game with Darrell Williams, and then yesterday with Jared McKinnon, who's been playing outstanding. It's like, okay, if you want to play those 2 safeties, those 2 all-pro safety, those 2 really good safety, you have them playing 30 yards back. Well, we're just going to run the football.
No, you had it right the first time. You had it right the first time when you give them their props, put some respect on their name, Marcus. Go ahead and say what you said the first time. I see you try to window down the safety play. I'm peeping your style right now.
I said
Really
because they didn't make only one of them made all pro, right? Only one of them made all pro.
Both of them
did.
They both
That's
have.
my second team.
Yes, they
sir.
both have.
Those are the two best.
But you got them playing 30. You got them playing 30 yards back where they can't contribute in the running game, and that was the main change they made that changed their season. They actually ran on the Bills yesterday with Jared McKinnon was kind of the secret weapon yesterday, and that was the difference in the game right there. But I still think Aaron Rodgers is an elite quarterback.
Nobody's saying
I think the argument as far as people saying that he's on Tom Brady's level, because that was an argument.
Watch him out.
That was an argument. That was an argument going on. I think that argument has been, and I thought we saw the changing of the guard as far as quarterbacks yesterday.
Oh, for sure. I'll give you that.
The changing of the guard. The changing of the guard.
I give
you got these young. I did a piece on Alphabet's Bits called "The Young Guns." We actually saw the changing of the guard. You got these young gun quarterbacks. You got quarterbacks coming now. The Justin Herberts, the Patrick Mahomes, is the Joe Burrow, the Josh Allen. You got these. I think I'm going to tell y'all this too. If Trevor Lawrence gets some weapons with the Jags.
Oh, I agree.
I'm not sold on Justin Herbert.
Too, also.
You're not sold on Justin Herbert.
I'm not sold on Justin Herbert.
Oh,
at all.
I am, bro. I am. I ain't gonna lie. I am.
All right.
To me, he's a more athletic Dan Marino. That's
I'm
what
not,
I compare him to.
I'm not knocking Justin Herbert. It's nothing against him. I just feel personally a lot of the hype that he's getting is the hype that would have all went to Joe Burrow if he didn't get hurt halfway through his rookie year.
And I give you that. But you can't. I give you that. I agree with you. But you can't not give Herbert his credit, bro. That dude is legit. He's legit. He needs a whole lot.
And you know who has the most salary cap this offseason?
The Chargers.
The Chargers.
The Chargers.
They got 72. They got $72 million. They got
we'll
72
see what
million.
they do with it.
And Herbert's in Herbert will be going in his third year. They don't have to pay him for 2 more. They don't have to pay him for 2 more years. They got to me. They're set at running back with Eckler and that kid Justin Jackson.
They need another running back. Bro.
I like Justin Jackson. I thought Justin Jackson played.
They need somebody else though. They need
what they
and they also
need is
need a
another
timing
wide
time.
receiver. They need to get rid of punk ass Mike Williams, his inconsistent ass. They
He
need to
had a
get rid
good
of
year
him.
this year though. He had a
Hey,
good year.
yeah, now you bugging.
Yeah, he had a good year.
Mike,
this year, bro.
I had him on my fantasy team. He's another one of them guys. He had them. What was that movie that Whitney Houston and Angela Bassett and all of them were in?
What?
Disappearing Acts? No, that was a Sanaa Lathan. Disappearing Acts. That was Mike Williams. Disappearing
That
Acts.
sound like Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs.
You know,
Yeah,
Justin
facts.
Herbert is a good
Facts.
guy.
Yo,
The
what's
only
the
problem is
quotes?
that Brandon
Quotes.
Staley-
That's true, but you gonna watch your mouth talking about my man's though.
I'm sorry,
Right.
Aaron in the playoffs is just Alex Smith with a ring already.
Exactly. That part. That part.
That right
Hey,
there.
Hey, you talk your talk, player.
Right, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs is Alex Smith with a ring already.
Man, who
Oh,
you
you know
tell?
what? Quotes.
He Alex
Whoa.
Smith with a participation trophy. I'm sorry.
Man, who you
Quotes.
telling,
I'm
bro?
gonna mute your Comedy
Like I
Central
said,
ass. You keep
I
it
don't
up.
care what you do. Hey, I don't care what you do in the
Keep it up.
regular season, bro. Regular season MVPs and all
Right.
that. You get to the dance and choke. I don't want to hear it, bro.
By the way,
he said,
we all know
he said,
Justin Herbert
you
is
get up on
the
stage and do the Eminem.
Brandon Staley
Right.
is
It sounded to me like you just called Aaron Rodgers Russell Westbrook. That's what I just heard.
Hey.
Yes.
No, hey, no, you
Oh,
know what?
hell no.
Hey, you know what? I take that back.
He Russell
not
Westbrook
Russell.
just pigmently challenged.
hell
That's
no.
what it is.
No. Hey, he not Russell. He Kyrie Irving. That's who he is. He Kyrie.
Nah, he's not even
bro.
Kyrie. Yeah, Kyrie got the one. He got the one little ring in Cleveland.
Hey, A-Rod, Kyrie, bro. He Kyrie. He
Listen,
Kyrie.
y'all.
Hey, that's why I'm
Listen.
ready to get rid of him, bro. Get rid of him. Trade
Aaron
him to
Rodgers
Denver for
rolled
draft capital.
fucking play
Trade him to
Matthews
Denver.
coattails to
Keep
a
it quick.
ring.
Whoa. Fam, you're not getting anything for Aaron Rodgers. You can't tag him. He's a free agent. He's
No, he's
free.
not. He got one more year under his
Yeah, he
deal.
got one more year.
No,
But he could avoid that deal.
No, it's voided It's voided the year after. That's the only.
Okay, I thought it was this offseason he could
No,
avoid
it's
it.
Yo.
not this offseason. He
I
under
just want to
contract.
say, y'all listening to Rise Up Unlimited, the radio show, WDAP Radio, WDAP TV, man. Late night Rise Up Unlimited, man. We having a ball right now. They calling my man Aaron Rodgers, Kyrie Irving. Yo, it's
Irving.
getting real disrespectful.
Kyrie
here.
Irving.
It's getting real disrespectful.
We trade him to Denver. Trade him to Denver. We're gonna get a couple first
Hey,
round
by the
picks.
way,
That's all I care about.
I was
That's
about
all
to
I
say
care
something,
about.
too. Also, with
Dalton,
Aaron
go ahead,
Rodgers.
Dalton.
I could see him go to the Broncos, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos hired Packers offense coordinator as
Yeah,
head
Hackett.
coach.
Yeah, I can see
We
him.
was just-
Yeah, we was just talking about
We
that.
just was talking about
You're
that.
right. Yep. And I can see him going there. And
I can have
and
him.
what you do is, if Devontae want to leave too, you tag Devontae and you trade him as well.
Yeah.
But they were talking about maybe Dan Quinn going over there with that
Yeah.
with that defense. You bring in Aaron Rodgers and you line up Aaron Rodgers with Devontae Williams, Melvin Gordon, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant. Okay.
Yeah, but here's my thing though. Here's my
You
thing.
gotta trust them though. You know
Was
how
Denver's
Rodgers is
defense
with his
good
trust.
this year? Was Denver's defense good this year, Marcus?
They were okay. I mean,
Marcus,
they were
they
okay.
was top 5 in points allowed this year. Denver.
They were
Rodgers
Denver
to
only
the
gave up
49ers,
17,
man.
18 points a game. What?
Well, part of it is look.
So
Like I tell you,
my point is, hold on, Marcus. My point is, what side needs more help, offense or defense? That's who you go get. Go get the offensive guy and Nate Hackett. Go get Hackett. Hackett gonna bring something different to that team. Bring you a new philosophy, a new way of running your offense, so you can sustain drives, so you can win games when you only give up 18 points per game.
I
Tell me this though. Do
think
they got an offensive line in Denver? Do Denver got
Yes.
an
Not
line?
really.
Yes. What?
I don't think they do, bro.
I don't think they got a good offensive
I
line.
don't think they got a good
Y'all really
offensive line, dog.
What?
Y'all
Denver
sleep
don't
on
have an
Aaron.
offensive line. One of the best offensive linemen in football playing Denver.
Okay,
What?
that's one. That's one.
I'm talking about as a unit.
As a unit.
As a
Nah, they got a good line. I'm not gonna lie, but y'all sleeping on Aaron Rodgers to the 49ers. That's what needs to happen.
That's not gonna
here
happen.
we go.
They're gonna have
Aaron
not
the
gonna happen.
San Fran.
Yeah, they're not gonna trade him in the conference.
Aaron Rodgers is gonna pull a
KD.
Kevin,
And go to San
KD.
Fran.
No, they're not gonna trade him in the conference. They're not gonna do that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The organization.
Yeah, he's gonna go to AFC team.
Yeah, he's gonna go to the AFC. He's not going into the NFC. They're not gonna trade him in the
If
conference.
they said we'll give you two first round picks and Trey Lance.
I don't want Trey Lance.
Whoa.
My
I
Do
game
don't
you
is
not want Trey Lance? Trey Lance is better than Jordan Love. Are you kidding me?
Trey Lance, what?
Trey Lance is way better than
nowhere
Jordan Love.
near that. Everything he throws is a fastball.
Jordan
he don't
Love.
have touch on any throw.
Stop it. Jordan Love is light-skinned Brandon Whedon. Please stop this. Jordan
Bro,
Love is more.
Trey Lance is not even ready to start.
Trey Lance
Hell no.
Trey Lance couldn't beat out Jimmy Garoppolo. I
Trey
think
Lance
that's
is
fact.
better than
He
Jimmy
couldn't.
G right now.
Exactly. He couldn't even be. And Jimmy G is trash, bro.
That's because
Come
Jimmy
on.
G just looked good.
Like, come on.
Jimmy G-
You better chill on that Trey
Jimmy
Lance
G-
hype, bro. If they
Jimmy
do that
G is-
draft over again, Trey Lance is like a second or third round pick. That boy ain't
No.
no top 5
I
pick.
don't know.
Trey Lance a future Pro Bowler. Stop it.
Hell
So
no.
wait a minute. So I just want to talk. I just wanted to say something about this Denver thing. So Garrett Bowles, Dalton Reisner, Bobby Massey, Lloyd Cushenberry. You telling me that's not an offensive line?
That's the line.
You know, some of it too, Dre. Some of it too, Dre. Is it's really hard to evaluate Denver's line because Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater are terrible.
I agree with you.
Whoa, what?
I agree with you on that.
I don't
Drew
agree
Lock
with
is
the Teddy
terrible?
Bridgewater thing, but I
Drew
agree
Lock
with the
is
Drew Lock.
Drew Lock is inconsistent. He's terrible.
Yeah, Lock
bro.
is trash
Drew Lock
to
is
me.
terrible.
But I'm looking. There's been times that they're like, we're going to start Drew Lock over Teddy Bridgewater with everything he's been through. Should have that. They shouldn't even have to be thinking about a quarterback.
Y'all about to
They
That's
hate
shouldn't
me.
have to even be thinking about a quarterback.
But
Y'all about
he's
to hate
not,
me.
he's
I'm
not
taking
good,
Drew
bro.
Lock. I'm taking Drew Lock over Justin Herbert.
Teddy, look
What?
at
You taking Drew Lock over Herbert?
I'm taking Drew Lock over Justin Herbert.
Oh, you are
Oh,
out
my
of your
God.
damn
You know
mind.
what?
Fine.
if you took
Tripping.
if you took Drew Lock over, see, you wouldn't be a general manager.
Oh,
I'm
man,
also taking
bro, he'll be
Baker over
fired
Aaron
tomorrow,
Rodgers, though.
like,
So
what
maybe
the
I just
fuck?
don't know QBs.
You out your damn
You take
mind.
Aaron Rodgers. You take Aaron Rodgers. You take Baker Mayfield over Aaron. See, you tripping, man.
Yeah.
Dude,
You
what?
tripping, dude.
I said
You
earlier, if I was the Bills, I'm trading Josh Allen this offseason for Baker Mayfield.
Oh, hell
You gotta be
no.
kidding me.
This dude is
The
tripping.
revenue from those commercials gonna be crazy. Come
Oh,
on.
here we go.
Yeah.
This
Here we
dude
go.
is tripping. Hey, Dre logged off.
Right.
Trey logged off.
He logged off when I said it. Yo, like,
I'm gonna give y'all the name real quick.
Dre
I'm gonna
Dre
give you-
logged
I'm gonna give-
off. He
I'm gonna
said,
give-
bruh, what?
I'm gonna give
I
y'all.
ain't
I'm
logged
gonna give
on,
y'all.
man. I'm about to go mobile with y'all. But
He
that
was
was
spitting-
crazy.
he was
what I
spitting this-
heard.
he was spitting this water. I got two names for y'all, and I think if they went to a right situation, they could really help a team. Tyler Huntley and Mitchell Trubisky.
oh, Trubisky, that dude.
I say no to Trubisky. I've seen all I needed to see with him.
You saw him with Matt
Um,
Nagy, though. That's not his fault.
Uh,
Come on.
I mean, he took the.
Matt Nagy could mess up ramen noodles.
I hear you on that, but
he-
Trubisky won a division a couple years ago, and they were 12-4, bro.
With Matt
I-
Nagy. So that's so much. That proves how good he is. I'm sorry. That gives him even more credit that he was able to win a division with Matt Nagy as his head coach.
I mean, Trubisky. I don't think Trubisky is good at all, but I think Huntley though. I think Huntley got a chance.
See, that's unfair, yo. Saying Trubisky's not good when he had Matt Nagy all those years, that's like judging Pat Mahomes if he had
is
Urban Meyer as
limited
his
in
coach.
what he
Like,
can do, though. He's limited in his ability. I've seen Trubisky for 4 years. He's limited.
Part
And what he
of
can
no,
it.
they limited him.
Who was
He
the-
was not
who was the-
limited.
Who was first off? Remember they lost because their kicker was terrible, and second, who was the starting wide receiver for the Bears?
Allen
Robinson.
Robinson.
Allen Robinson.
Don't do that. Don't act like
still,
Allen
are we
Robinson
still
was-
sold? Hang on, are we still sold on Allen Robinson?
No.
No.
Bro, he's
I'm
been
not
wanting
sold
out
on
of
Allen Robinson.
He's been wanting out of Chicago the last year.
He wanted out of Chicago.
Exactly. That's what I'm
two
saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't think Allen Robinson is a good wide receiver. He had one or two good years with Jacksonville, and everybody thought him and Allen
every
Hurns.
year with Chicago, he's been balling. Dude, he's been balling. It's just he's been wanting out of Chicago.
Yeah.
So you ain't heard much from him because he's been wanting out.
Yeah,
but we know in this league, owners control the league, not players.
I think the offseason is really going to be dictated by what happens with Deshaun Watson. I'm not sold that he ever plays again. I'm not sold that he ever plays again.
Oh wow.
And I
don't think it's written in the stars that he plays again. I don't think that's
I could see that. I could see that. I think it comes down to him and Rodgers. I think wherever Rodgers goes, hopefully it's Denver. I'm hoping he goes to Denver because I want all their draft capital.
Because I think if Deshaun Watson, if he were somehow to get out of, he's gonna. First off, he has a no trade clause, so wherever he goes, he's got to approve it. I think if Deshaun Watson went to Miami,
you can't say Miami now, bro, because Flores is gone.
Now that Flores is gone, they're not touching Watson at all.
Yeah, like Watson is not going there.
They made it clear Flores wanted him. They didn't.
Right. And Flores was smart. Because the fact that Miami fired them, it just tells you how dysfunctional of a franchise Miami is.
Yeah.
They're very dysfunctional.
Jim Caldwell.
So,
yeah.
You can't, that's where he's not going.
Well, I mean, maybe that's what part of why he didn't go to Miami was because of what they were asking for him. They weren't sure that his legal problems would be, know, it's like, I'm not giving you 3 first-round picks, and I don't know if this guy's ever going to play again. I'm not doing that. Yeah. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. So, Miami is a blaze with no doubt. Brian Flores, I get so tired. And I say it on my show all the time. These retread coaches, man. Do you know that Bill O'Brien got a damn job interview with Jacksonville? I
know he did. That was a joke because the only reason he did because I call it Nick Saban coaching rehab. These whack ass coaches go to Nick Saban coaching rehab at Alabama.
Lane Kiffin did it.
They rejuvenate their careers and then they get jobs because you went to Nick Saban's coaching rehab. So Bill O'Brien is a joke. He should never get an NFL job ever in life.
He's trash. And you get these coaches that like Matt Nagy, right? Like Adam Gase, like Chip Kelly. This guy ruined the Eagles and then goes to the 49ers and gets a job with the 49ers the next year. And then you get a guy like Brian Flores and Jim Caldwell, who are really good quarterback, really good coaches, and they can't get a job. What Lovie Smith? I was pissed off with Lovie Smith. I mean, he's kind of done now, but I mean, Lovie Smith. What he took. Lovie Smith took Rex Grossman to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Rex Grossman.
Shanahan took Jimmy weak ass G to the Super Bowl, bro.
Oh, he not weak. Time out.
Jimmy G is trash.
Now he is.
Bro, he was trash then. He only threw the ball 8 times. Chill. That boy was garbage.
He's the weakest link on that team. If I'm the 49,
he been
the 49ers this offseason have to do everything humanly possible to get Trey Lance ready to play.
Oh, they do. And
I'm ready already, yo. He's already ready.
The kid not ready yet. He not ready. I'm not saying
he's not. The NFC title game. Are you kidding me? I'm not putting Jimmy G back out there to watch that again. You think I want to see that for 60 minutes on a football field? No.
Man, Jimmy G
Blaze says Josh McDaniels is like Bob too. Instead of Alabama, he went back to New England. Didn't they take back Matt Patricia too?
Yeah, they
Yeah, they
did.
brought Matt Patricia
Yeah, they
back.
brought Matt Patricia back.
Didn't Matt Patricia run back too?
Yep. He sure did.
You go get a job. You go get a job. You go get a job. You know, based off being a Patriots assistant coach. Go over there, crash and burn, and then run back to New
They
England.
brought Patriots assistant Jerome Mayo. He's getting interviewed from the Raiders, the Texans, the Broncos.
Yeah.
Josh McCown just got an interview again.
Yeah.
That's what Blaze just said here. He said my top 3 candidates are Leftwich, Mayo, and Flores. And I think we need to. He's still playing. They're still playing. I want Eric Bieniemy.
No,
Eric Bieniemy, he needs to be a head coach.
He needs to. I think Eric the game that they called, the game he called yesterday against Buffalo, just some of the plays that just the creativity and stuff like that. I got a question for you guys. I got a question for you guys, man. I got a question. I got a question for everybody in the panel too. Top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL as of today.
All right. Well, I gotta say this real quick. Matt Patricia is also the same person who went and beat Bill Belichick too, though, in a 1v1 though.
True.
what that mean?
Josh
Bill
Allen,
Belichick.
Patrick Mahomes,
That he
Aaron
beat him.
Rodgers.
That's what that means.
He's nobody without Brady. What?
Brady, and who else? I said Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Brady, and who's the 5th? You know what? I'm gonna still give him.
Did I hear somebody whisper he's nobody without Brady? Wait a minute. Patricia beat them when he had Brady. What are we talking about? What?
I'm gonna still give him his credit because I still think he's elite. He's just on a bad team. Russell Wilson. That's my
y'all gonna hate my top 5. Mahomes, Allen, Dak, Baker, Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
If you don't get Daniel Jones and Baker out of here,
cocaine, crack, cocaine. Shit, fuck out of here, bro. Ain't no way.
That dude is drinking Drano and Clorox.
Right. Yeah, dude. There's no way.
Nah, I'm capping. For real, it'd be Mahomes, then Allen. I go Allen Mahomes, actually. Mahomes be getting lucky. So Allen, Mahomes. I gotta put Brady number 3. 4, I'd put Russ. And 5, actually legally allowed to play Deshaun Watson.
How is Patrick Mahomes lucky and he's been to 4 straight?
Oh, he be getting lucky just throwing it up there.
But is it luck or is it how good he is, bro?
No, it'd be luck sometimes. Like sometimes he just throw
you
it up
need a little
blindly.
bit- You need a little bit of luck to win a championship. Y'all know that.
He throw it up blindly, and then the defender will like
need a little
fall
bit
or
of luck.
something. Like it'd be so much luck, yo.
I think you're getting Patrick Mahomes mixed up with Eli Manning, the helmet catch, hitting people in the face mask. I think you're getting them confused with.
And keeping it 100 and keeping it real, Patrick Mahomes' defense, they rank 27 in the league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He carries him a lot. Give me your top 5. Give me your top 5 quarterbacks. Your top 5 quarterbacks right now.
Mahomes, then Allen, Rodgers, Brady. Even though they didn't make the playoffs, though he had a good year. Even though if it wasn't for that dumbass coach made a horrible timeout calls, I'm going to put Justin Herbert on there.
Okay.
Whoa!
I can't. I'm going. I gotta. For what I saw with Josh Allen yesterday, I have to move him up. I had him in my top 5. I had him in my top 5. I got him in my top 3 now. When I saw yesterday, look, I changed my opinion based off of what I see, off of evidence, what I see. Patrick Mahomes yesterday. That's the best game I ever saw him play.
Okay.
What he did yesterday, like they needed all of those points. He did everything.
Well, his defense
and I'm
is
afraid.
trash as hell.
And let me tell you something. I believe in all the sports. You know, we do a lot of football here.
Right.
But I believe in all the sports. You have to have a rival.
Okay.
You have to have Ali Frazier.
Right.
Right.
You know, what was his name?
Magic
I just think that you gotta have a guy on the other side of you that you compete against. You know, Brady Manning.
Right.
You gotta have that guy. You gotta have that guy on the other side of you that makes you go to your absolute best. You know, Pete Sampras, Roger Federer. You got to have that person, Sharapova and the Williams sisters. You got to have that person that you're competing against. It's like, I'm just as good as you, or I'm your equal, or you know, we have a rivalry. It's not a rivalry if one side always wins.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
Time out. What's that?
Marcus, I had to turn my camera on while I'm driving for that. Are you trying to say that Brady? Are you trying to say that Mahomes and Allen is the new Brady Manning?
I believe they could be. I'm not ready to say that. I'm not ready to say because I believe that there's younger quarterbacks there. I have faith in Justin Herbert. Like I believe they could be. I believe Justin Herbert is coming. I believe you got these kids that are under 25. I think Allen is 25. I think Patrick Mahomes is 25, 26. But you got these even younger cats that are coming up behind them, and I think they're coming too. You got Herbert and Burr. I think Burrows is 23.
Yeah,
Burrow coming. He coming.
Burrows is coming. Herbert is coming. Burrows is coming. Herbert is coming. I believe it, depending on the coach, because you sometimes having a dysfunctional ass organization kind of stunts your growth. I believe Trevor Lawrence is coming.
Oh, wait a minute. My guy from the sports entertainment capital of the world just joined in.
Rocco.
My guy Rocco Kelly is in the house. Rocco, I'm about to hit you with a question right off the rip since they talking about quarterbacks. You taking Boomer or Burrows?
I'm taking Burrows. Absolutely. That's what I'm going to do.
Wait, over who?
Boomer.
Ooh.
And the thing is about Joe Burrow, the reason I say his name, he took 9 sacks. Like, if he had his own line, like, he would have done better. You know, he just got weapons around him. He just needs his own line.
Well, actually, the reason why I joined the show, and by the way, Andre, thanks for sending the link, by the way. But the reason why I joined, because you were talking about the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, and then I heard Marcus say about Brady and Manning. You know, I really feel like trying to say who's going to be the next Brady versus Manning, you really have to look at the NFL as a whole, because I think Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow and their rivalry that Baltimore and Cincinnati will probably have in the next couple of years, that's going to be pretty good.
Jackson just has to get more around him for me to believe that. They gotta give him more around him.
However, I do agree with Marcus that Mahomes and Allen is most likely going to end up as the new Brady versus Manning.
Right.
But at the same time, Brady versus Manning, those are 2 Hall of Famers. Those are 2 guys that were the absolute best of the best during their era. So I don't know if we're going to see that in the NFL in the 2020s. I hope we do. But I think it's too early to say, oh, these guys are going to be a new Brady versus Manning.
This is all like, it's
subjective.
Hindsight. So yeah, this is all suggestive. I mean, nothing in this is written in the stars. But I'm just saying, from what I saw yesterday, I just think that you're starting to see with quarterbacks now. You can't just be a pocket passer.
No, you can't.
You just can't be. You can't just be strictly a pocket passer. Now you look at all the quarterbacks; they have a little bit of mobility. I mean, Burrows can move a little bit, even though he got sacked 9 times. and that they got to fix that ASAP. You look at Trevor Lawrence; he can move around. Josh Allen can move around. Deshaun Watson can move around. All of these guys, they got a little bit of mobility to their game. Patrick Mahomes can move around. You know, Patrick Mahomes yesterday. I think that's what kind of threw Buffalo off. Because I mean, a couple of times, I mean, he looked like he was dead to rights, and he kind of escaped out of there and kind of extended the play, and that was what to me was what the difference was to the game. Go ahead. What were you saying, Rocco?
Well, actually, what I was going to say, and by the way, Rashad, thanks for being on the show. But when it comes to the quarterbacks, now I'm not saying that this is going to be the next great rivalry in the NFL, but I think Joe Burrow and Josh Allen, you got the Bengals, you got the Bills, you're seeing the future in the NFL right now. I believe that Joe Burrow could be marketed as the next Tom Brady. Once again, listen to what I'm saying here. I'm not saying he's going to have the stats like Tom Brady, but I think Joe Burrow, with his style and his personality and the way he does interviews, the way he's pretty much been memed to death almost every single time, you know, the way he dances around the locker room, he has a fun time. He's someone who's very marketable. I believe that Joe Burrow, if the Cincinnati Bengals make it to the Super Bowl somehow, I think he'll be marketed by the NFL as the next Tom Brady, and that's really what I came in here to say.
Well, I'm really excited for you know, especially my man Blaze Gabbert. He's been on my show talking up Cincinnati, and I'm sorry, Blaze. I didn't give I didn't give Cincy much props. They really surprised me.
Marcus, who was the one that brought that up to you, sir? About giving up Cincinnati their props, sir?
Well, I mean, look,
who brought that up to you?
Listen, ain't nobody thought that Cincinnati was going to jump in front of a healthy Ravens team and the Browns. Like the Browns, you thought that they would jump in front of the Browns?
I had the Cincinnati Bengals making the playoffs back in September.
Yes.
I thought with the Ravens had some catastrophic injuries this year. I mean, look, they were on their like fourth or fifth string running back. I mean, they were supposed to start off with J.K. Dobbins, and now they ended up with Le'Veon Bell. You know, it's like, come on.
Murray.
I mean, and Latavius Murray, they were Gus Edwards. You know, I mean that makes a difference on that team. You know, but to me, the Ravens, they went and drafted Rashad Bateman. I still think that they need to do more to help Lamar Jackson, because I don't think that they're very scary on the perimeter. And when you get in a track meet with the Bengals, with how the Bengals can score, you got to have firepower. I mean, we saw the Kansas City and KC, the Kansas City and Buffalo game yesterday. I think the Kansas City and Cincinnati game, they might put up damn near 100 points between them.
Well, comparing the defenses, it's most likely going to be that scenario. I mean, if you've seen the over and under at sports books, I mean, they're almost into the dang 60s. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, what did they score yesterday? Close to 80? 42-36. By the way, I called the game 42-38.
I have a question for all of you. With this quarterback talk, looking at the college scene, who do you think is the next guy to come in and take the league by storm, quarterback-wise, in college?
I don't think there's that guy. I don't think that there's that guy this in this draft. I don't think that there's a guy in this draft. There's not a Joe Burrow. There's not a Josh Allen. There's not a Patrick Mahomes in this draft. Now, there's a lot of people that are high on that kid from Liberty. Is that it?
Malik Willis, yes.
Yeah.
Look, who you play matters. And when to me, what I see with the kid from Liberty is I see Trey Lance. That's what I see.
I mean, that's what they really saw in Josh Allen. Josh Allen was Trey Lance before Trey Lance was Trey Lance. So let's be real here.
Yeah, but here's the thing with Josh Allen has elite measurables. He has elite. He's 6'5", 2. They got him listed at 238. To me, when I look at Josh Allen, he looks like he's about 250 to me. He's built kind of like Cam Newton. He's built kind of like Cam Newton, and he went to a good situation. Josh Allen came from Wyoming. This kid's coming, but I don't see an elite prospect coming. I hear a lot of people liking the kid from Pittsburgh, Pickett. There, when I see him, I'm just I don't think he comes right in. I mean, Joe Burrow came into the league and just bam.
Yeah.
Herbert just came into the league and bam. I mean, Josh Allen was a raw prospect. I mean, he had like the arm and the size and all that, but he was raw as hell. Herbert.
Wait, hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Carson Wentz technically Josh Allen before Josh Allen in terms of all this hype and all these things going on?
Yeah. 100% correct.
Well, we're seeing now that I say it all the time. We're seeing now that Carson Wentz is not a good quarterback. We're starting. I think the verdict's the excuse always with him. Well, when he was with Philadelphia, he doesn't really have any pass catchers. Okay, he doesn't really have a running game. Well, they bring you in. They give you an elite offensive line. They give you the leading rusher in the league and Jonathan Taylor. They give you weapons like Michael Pittman and T.Y. Hilton and Paris Campbell, and you still stink it up.
Right.
So I think I'm out on Carson Wentz.
Would you take Carson or Baker?
Would
you
rather eat liver and onions, or would you rather eat liver and onions or sardines?
I'm taking Baker over all but a handful of quarterbacks in the league, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm going to say this to answer your original question. If you were talking about college quarterbacks, it all depends on who they get drafted to. I've said this about the NFL draft for the last 6 years. I wait until they get drafted by a team before I really give my calculated opinion. But when it comes to Kenny Pickett, he seems like he is the favorite at this point. Like based off of what I've read, Kenny Pickett, then Malik Willis, and then Matt Corral. But yet again, that was because he got injured. If he hadn't gotten injured in that Ole Miss bowl game, he probably would be ranked number 1. But because he got injured, now he has slipped a bit. So now hopefully that answers your question. But I have to see where they get drafted. If Kenny Pickett goes to a team like the Saints, for example, I think that'd be consistent for him to go to. For example,
you're not sold. Are you sold on Book?
Ian Book. Well, first off, he's a Notre Dame quarterback, so the answer is no.
Thank you.
But when it comes to the quarterback position, the New Orleans Saints, they really need to change things up. And hey, Dalton, me and you have agreed on this for the last 1,000 years. Sean Payton needs to go. Sean Payton, he's way past his due date. He needs to go back to his alma mater and be the coach at University of Illinois. I mean, that's really what he needs to do.
You spelled the Dallas Cowboys wrong.
No, University of Illinois. He's a Chicago guy. Everybody knows Sean Payton knows he's from Chicago. He's
you mean Eastern Illinois.
Still, but when it comes to Sean Payton, I think his time is done. And when the Saints bring in somebody new, I think Kenny Pickett would be good. If you go to Detroit, your career is going to die. So whoever goes there, good luck to you. And I've also heard of Denver Broncos, and John Elway really hasn't developed any quarterback since he's got there. So I'm just going to say with Kenny Pickett, then Malik Willis, then Matt Corral. But it all depends on who they get drafted by.
It's going to take for a while to replace Drew Brees because the Saints, they need like a young, long-term quarterback.
You're not sold on Book either, Dalton?
I want to see more of Book, though. I mean, he took a beating. And I'm not making excuses. They had no O-line, though. I mean, I really want to see how he does. Though he doesn't have, fair opportunity.
I'm not sold on Book, and I'm glad you brought up the Saints because I think Pickett is best case scenario for them, and I want to see Malik Willis, who I think is the number 1 quarterback by far in this draft. I want to see him end up with either Washington and sit behind Taylor Heinicke for a year, or I want to see him in Pittsburgh, and that's really where I sit on that. But I've seen a lot of mocks where Pickett ends up in Pittsburgh. I've seen a few mocks where Pickett goes from the University of Pittsburgh. They're talking about
Pittsburgh passed up on Dan Marino.
They about to James Conner this man. Don't say that.
So
I've been seeing quarterbacks like Desmond Ridder, Carson Strong, Malik Willis, Kenny Prickett, Matt Corral, that kid out of the Western Kentucky. I can't think of his name.
yeah.
Well, there's really only a trio in this draft, and I understand there's more quarterbacks, but it's mainly the trio.
I just don't think that there's that surefire pick. I don't think that there's a Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, guys that can start day one that you could just put out there and start day one. I don't think there's that guy in this draft. Do y'all agree with that?
Well,
Yeah.
technically, Patrick Mahomes sat for a year, but I know what you're trying to say.
Well, I mean, okay. How about Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow or Trevor Lawrence? I just don't think there's that type of quarterback in this draft that could come out there. To me, the best quarterback in this past draft was
You say Matt Jones.
Davis Mills.
Oh, okay. I like that a lot. That is
Davis
probably the
Mills.
most
Is that
honest
fair?
assessment of this QB class that I've seen this year because everyone just focuses on the first round QBs. But Mills, to me, was the most impressive rookie for the situation he was in, what he had to work with, and how he performed by far.
I just think Davis Mills showed a lot of moxie, and considering that they didn't have anything, if they're able to get some draft capital for Deshaun Watson and start putting some pieces, I mean they have nothing over there, like nothing as far as offensive weapons, and this guy is beating teams. You know, I'm just like, what would this kid be with a good wide receiver, one of the Alabama wide receivers? What would he be? You know, they were just Bill O'Brien just really destroyed that team. He did. He really destroyed that team. He destroyed that team. I don't think they picked till the third round.
Yeah,
If
they jumped in
anyone-
the third round.
If anyone in the front office of the Kansas City Chiefs just happens to be listening, hire Bill O'Brien as your GM and do us all a favor. Thank you. Man.
Bill O'Brien, he's not a good GM, and that's that's the reason why a lot of these teams, I think they're starting to see, get you a GM and get you a coach. Don't try to make your coach do both things. It's just it's too hard. It's too hard. A lot of these teams,
Bill Belichick, pretty much.
well, yeah, you just can't. You just can't. You know, it's really hard. Being a GM is hard. Being a coach is hard. Trying to do both of them is too much. Just way
All right,
too
let me
much.
ask this question. It's kind of a parallel question, but it's kind of a pivot. Should owners still be allowed to be general managers? Because there's currently 2 owners who are still general managers of their own team.
Well, you say allow when you own the team. That's what people. I try to tell all my Dallas Cowboys people out there. Oh, Jerry should just get fired. I'm like, he owns the team. He owns the team. And unfortunately, it's I know this is going to sound really bad, and I'm not advocating for it. I'm starting to get to the point where I don't think that the Cowboys have any sustained success until Jerry Jones isn't here anymore. I'm starting to get to that point there because it's like, dude, everything you're doing, it's like you have the most expensive, most popular, number one Forbes teams as far as revenue, and it should be like a dream job, but he scares off a lot of would-be great coaches because he's just always in the mix. You don't see any other owners giving press conferences and stuff. Your job as the owner is to tell your GM, what do you need? That's your only job, is to sign the checks. He wants to be involved in everything, and it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked for 26 years. You know, it just hasn't. And you have to just be like, what I'm doing is not working. If you're a good coach out there, why would you go to the Cowboys? Why would you want to go to the Cowboys and be second guessed on everything? Why? It's like there's a lot of good coaches out there. If I'm a coach, I'm not wanting to go. Well, Jerry said, this guy's not playing. Well, Jerry said he was. Well, what the hell am I here for?
So in other words, the Dallas Cowboys are in the same position the Chicago Bears are in. They're just waiting for their owner to die.
McCaskey.
Like, no, Bears fans, and this is so messed up to say, but it's true. Virginia McCaskey is 98 years old.
Yeah.
Like, most Bears fans are just waiting for her to die.
And,
So that her
and
sons can sell it to
you don't wish death, but it's just like, dude, like, the reason of why a lot of these people don't change is because they're old, and you're making and you're a billionaire, win, lose, or draw. You get a check.
Mm-hmm.
You get a check from the NFL for TV and all of that good stuff, and you split up all of the revenue sharing and all of that stuff. You know, y'all split up all that TV money. So I win, lose, or draw. If I'm 0-17 or I'm 17-0, I still get the same check. Now there are other teams like the Cowboys that market better. Jerry's affiliated with this, and I mean he's a hell of a businessman doing things. There's a Victoria's Secret inside the Dallas Cowboys stadium.
I mean, there's also some teams that bank heavily on their market share, like LA, New York, Chicago. I mean, they get a lot of money from where their market is as well.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like all of them. If you're a small market team, or you're with the Rams or the Giants, you still get that check that everybody shares. So, what is your motivation to win if your kid acts up at school, okay, and they do everything wrong, and you still buy them a car and let them eat ice cream for breakfast? Why would they change bad behavior?
They wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just some of these owners, they're cheap. They don't want to do anything because they're like, well, I'm still getting paid, you know. But then you have other organizations that are, we're committed to winning. We're going to do everything we can to win, and that's the difference between the Cleveland Browns and the difference between the New England Patriots. That's it. And the dysfunction, or hell, even the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys. Troy Aikman said something the other day, and it kind of pissed me off. But a lot of people were like, you know, he goes, if you're not making the playoffs, or you're getting bounced in the playoffs every year in the first round, you're no better than the Jacksonville Jaguars, because that's what they do. You know, so.
Well, I mean, when it comes to the NFL, I've said this on my show, Sports Angle. I've said this on multiple shows in the past. There's really 4 pillars of the NFL. There's really 4 teams that are the foundation when it comes to, you know, the offseason, when it comes to free agency, when it comes to trades, when it comes to, you know, doing anything possible to win a championship. Over the last 2 decades, it's been the Patriots, it's been the Steelers, it's been the Cowboys, it's been the 49ers. I mean, those are 4 teams that heavily spend every single year. They try to make trades. They're aggressive. Like, as much as I give flack to Cowboys fans, and yeah, I like to make jokes, y'all are aggressive though. Like, you're not the Bears. Trust me. The Bears, they sit around with their hands on their feet. Like, when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, when it comes to 49ers, the Patriots, and the Steelers, they do whatever it takes to win. So, you know, those are 4 teams that are always aggressive, and I give a lot of respect for that. And that's why the NFL really markets and really builds on those 4 teams.
So if something happened to McCaskey, who takes over? Who's next in line?
It would be her sons, and it's been pretty well reported that whoever is the next kin, they're pretty much trying to sell a team. Like, they want to sell a team. They don't want to be part of it anymore.
Yeah,
and that's why Bears fans are kind of, like I said, it's very messed up to say. But Bears fans are in the same situation the Chicago Blackhawks fans were in a decade and a half ago. Like, in 2007, when Bill Wirtz died, Rocky took over his son, and the Chicago Blackhawks won 3 championships in 6 years because he actually cared. You know, he wasn't just making money off of it. You know, he actually cared about the team.
Yeah. Dre, you still there? I'm about to get up out of here, man. I got to go make some moves, man. Rocco, you got a show tonight? Sports Angle show tonight?
I'll be doing it in about an hour, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern.
Y'all make sure y'all check out Rocco. I'm about to get out of here. Rocco, you can keep it rolling if you want. I think Dre's setting up because he's got a show with Wuffo Sports tonight with Mookie Hawkins. Y'all can keep it rolling. I'm out of here. Congratulations to all of the teams out there that made it yesterday. Chiefs and Rams and 49ers and
the Bengals.
And the Bengals. Congratulations to all those teams out there. Make sure y'all tune into the Alphabets Football Show on Friday night with my lovely co-host, Ramona Diehard and the Rise Up family, man. We're going to be talking about breaking it down one last time, the games from this past weekend. We'll be previewing the championship games, the conference championships games. So make sure y'all tune into that. Make sure you get your Rise Up gear, new logo, all that good stuff. Get at me. I'll take care of you. And get your picks in on the Alphabets Football Show group. We're doing a competition over there for picks. Dalton, what was your record?
7-3.
You're 7-3?
Yes, sir.
You got the same record as me?
Yes,
Dog,
sir.
you trying to take me out? You trying to take me out, dog? You trying to beat me down?
Honestly, I'm just doing the best I could. That's all I'm
Doing
doing.
the best you can? All right, man. Good stuff. Y'all have a good night. Rocco, keep it going.
All right, let's just keep it going because I got to leave in about 5 minutes, but let's keep it going for now. D-Man, I will say this. When it comes to the NFL, I'm really curious what goes on in this next round because I have two teams making it, and I want to know if you're agree or disagree on it. I think the LA Rams are going to beat the San Francisco 49ers. I think this Rams team, their defense is a lot more explosive than what the 49ers are. And when it comes to their offense, Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp, it's just going to be too much to handle for those defensive backs. It's going to be too much to handle having Odell Beckham on the side. So
I agree. I can see the Rams beat the 49ers. And let's not forget, the 49ers did beat the Rams 2 times. But my point is, it's tough to beat the division opponent 3 times.
Absolutely. It's really hard to beat anybody, a trio of times. Now, the AFC side is where I am very different because I think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to give a fight to Kansas City. I really believe that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, they have the momentum. They're riding this wave right now. And when it comes to Cincinnati Bengals, look, their defense isn't the greatest of all time, but Kansas City's isn't either. It's like what Marcus Alphabets said. This is probably going to be a 70-point, 80-point game. I mean, these two offenses are going to light each other up. They're going to torch each other. Andre, shout out to you. But, these two defenses are going to be torched by the opposing offense. And it really is going to come down to who's going to score more touchdowns. And based off of what I've seen with Cincinnati, based off of what I've seen in Kansas City, I believe that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are going to try to replicate the strategy and their game plan off of what they did a couple weeks ago when they went and faced off against Kansas City and they beat them a couple weeks ago. So, you know what? I might be in the minority, and the odds makers in Las Vegas, you may disagree with me, but I don't care. I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals. I believe they could win this game against Kansas City. And for the first time in 37 years, I think Cincinnati Bengals could represent the AFC.
And honestly, Bengals do have a tough test against the Chiefs. It's more competition. But I am going to go upset of the week. I got the Bengals beating the Chiefs. I'm going to say it's a closer game.
Now, Firestarter. Dre. Now, I wonder if he's got an opinion or not on this. But wait, I'll say this. When it comes to Mahomes and when it comes to this situation, it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting what's going on there. And, it's going to be fascinating. So, I want to ask this, though. I want to ask this question, Dre. I want to ask you as well. When it comes to Cincinnati, when it comes to Kansas City, who's going to expose each other's weaknesses more? Is Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase going to expose the fact that they can go down the middle because Kansas City has a very weak middle? If you go, if you're doing slant routes, you're doing those, 5 yards in and out route. when it comes to Cincinnati, their game is going to be very good in this situation. I mean, understand that when it comes to Kansas City, their game is doing the outside. It's doing those routes where Tyreek Hill can go bust out from the outside and go 10, 15 yards down the field. Kansas City's main strength is Travis Kelce going 10, 15 yards, doing a slant, and then immediately going down the field, going 20, 25 yards, trucking over people left, right, and center. So when it comes to Cincinnati, when it comes to Kansas City, I just really want to know, are they going to expose each other's weakness, and who's going to take advantage of it?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the reason why, because we all know we saw Tyreek Hill, like, he's fast. Jamar Chase, he's fast. Like, it's going to be like running like 75 yards, in my opinion.
And I also kind of want to know because of matchup-wise, because the Kansas City Chiefs, you do have Tyreek Hill, but you do have someone in Eli Apple, who I think, Dalton, you know pretty well.
Yep.
Eli Apple and that matchup with Cincinnati is not going to be that good. But at the same time, the Kansas City Chiefs also have a weakness on the defensive backside as well. Ward, he was getting exposed multiple times in that Buffalo Bills game. I mean, Ward was almost being taken off the field against Kansas City because he couldn't go up against the Bills' best wide receiver. So when it comes to the defensive back game, it just makes me wonder, Eli Apple or Ward, who's going to be targeted against the most? Who is going to be the corner that Cincinnati or Kansas City is going to expose multiple times, game after game after game? Very similar to what Tom Brady did against LA. He went after Williams with the LA Rams multiple times because he knew that was the weakness. You have Jalen Ramsey on their side, so he attacked Williams in that LA game. So, Dalton, I want to ask you, when it comes to this matchup, who's going to get attacked more? You think Mahomes is going to go after Apple, or you think Burrow's going to go after Ward?
Well, Apple is going to get burned by Tyreek Hill. There's no way Apple is going to tackle Hill. Like, Hill's going to be dominating. So my answer will probably be like Burrow and Chase.
And then one last question I do have to ask, because special teams are very important. We saw in the Green Bay game where their special teams choked and the Packers were eliminated from the playoffs because of their bad special team play. But when it comes to special team effort, there's no doubt about it that it's a very valuable and very key part of the postseason. So Cincinnati's got a really solid kicker, Evan McPherson, who by the way is probably having one of the best rookie kicker seasons in the NFL, really ever since maybe Steven Gostkowski did it back in 2006 out there in New England. I mean, this guy's putting up one heck of a season as a kicker. But when it comes to special teams, who are you going with as well? Because Cincinnati's got, a really good kicker, but Harrison Butker is elite as well. I mean, Harrison Butker is someone who can make those kicks and be very valuable in Kansas City.
For me, I'm going to say the Bengals kicker, in my opinion. The only guy like Harrison Butker, he is a good kicker. I mean, they got both good kickers.
And then when it comes to special teams as well, is there going to be any blocked punts? Is there going to be a field goal that's going to get blocked? For example, is there going to be a situation where you only have 10 players lined up on a field goal attempt? I mean, I just want to know from you, Dalton. I mean, is the Bengals or the Chiefs, are they going to do any of those scenarios? Is there going to be 10 guys lined up on a field goal? Is there going to be a blocked punt? Is there going to be a blocked field goal? Is there going to be a field goal that shanks too far to the left or too far to the right? Like, what's going to happen here?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't see no field goal block. I mean, it could happen. You just never know, but I don't see that happening. But I don't see no kicker is going to miss the field goal. I mean, it could happen, but I just don't see it, in my opinion.
And then lastly, when it comes to the NFC side of it, you got the Rams and you got the 49ers. And you really have a worst-case scenario for someone who lives on the West Coast. Because the Rams fan base is annoying. The 49ers fan base is annoying. I mean, yeah, I do support the 49ers, but I'll admit that your fan base is annoying. So when it comes to San Francisco, when it comes to LA, you live here in Las Vegas, it's a lose-lose scenario. But I know you're out there in the South, and I know Dre's up there in the Northeast. I mean, are you going to be paying attention very closely to the Rams and 49ers game? Because let's just be real. This is going to be a West Coast matchup. Someone from California is unfortunately going to represent a team out there at SoFi Stadium in the Super Bowl. And California is just going to be obnoxious for the next 2 weeks. So I just want to know, who's it going to be? Which fan base is going to annoy the living crap out of you for the next 2 weeks?
Probably the Rams, to be honest with you.
You know, I really want to make a joke right now, but unfortunately he's not even in the room, so I can't make it. But I really want to say that when it comes to the Rams and 49ers, it's just a situation that you have Matthew Stafford, who has really developed as a quarterback. I think leaving Detroit was the best thing to happen to him. Well, leaving Detroit in general is always good for anybody. But when it comes to the Matthew Stafford-led team, you have to understand. You have Jimmy Garoppolo, who, by the way, still has one of the best win-loss records out of any quarterback in the modern era. And yet, you'll treat him as a joke. So when it comes to this quarterback situation, you have one quarterback who could be making his 4th Super Bowl appearance, twice on the bench and twice as a starter. Then you have a guy who's never made it before. So who are you siding with? You know, who's the quarterback that you're going with? You're going to go with the guy who's been there before. He's cool. He's calm under pressure. Or you're going to go with someone who had the potential and had the look, but was never able to get there?
Well, for me, I'm not saying hasn't got there yet. I mean, we all saw how Jimmy G. I mean, yes, he won with his backup, though. He got struggled as a starter, like he couldn't get the job done. I just want to see how Matthew Stafford can do. Like it's going to be his first time ever.
All right. And then let me also point out this, because, you know, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to talk about this. The Los Angeles Rams, San Francisco 49ers, this game is going to factor a lot on the fact that you're going to have visiting fans in the stands. You know, 49ers fans, it's only you know, a couple hour drive, no big deal. They'll make that trip. And when it comes to San Francisco and when it comes to the Bay Area, there's a lot of passionate fans there. Like I said when we were talking to Marcus Betts earlier in the show, you have 4 teams that really represent and really define the NFL. You have the 49ers out there in the West. You have the Cowboys in the South. You have the Patriots out there in the Northeast. And then you have the Steelers who are out there in the Midwest. I mean, understand that these 4 teams really represent the pillars of the NFL. They're really the ones who have a foundation and a lot of backing when it comes to the NFL. And with San Francisco, they have a lot of great fans out there in the Bay Area. So I want to know from you, is it going to be 60-40? Is it going to be 70-30? Is it going to be 80-20, 75-25? I mean, what do you think the split's going to be? Because the Rams haven't really been able to sell out a stadium at all since they've moved from St. Louis to LA. And once again, like I said, San Francisco, one of the most passionate fan bases in the world.
Yeah, it is going to be a split, in my opinion.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be 50-50, though. Because I understand the Rams barely have a fan base. As much as Rams fans don't want to admit this, moving to LA was the worst thing to happen to you.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, I did not like they moved to Los Angeles. I think they should stay in St. Louis, in my opinion. I just didn't like it.
Honestly, they should have moved to Las Vegas, honestly. Because Las Vegas would have been the prime destination for the Rams, but no, they had to move over to LA. So when it comes to this game, I just really want to see what the split's going to be. You know, how many red jerseys are going to represent that stadium. And then lastly, I know I got a show. I have a show I got to do, so I got to step off in about a minute. But Dalton, I want to ask you. I understand there isn't many former Saints players in these Final Four. You know, there isn't that many players on the Chiefs. There isn't really that many people on the Bengals. There's not that many players on the Rams. And there's really not that many players on the 49ers. But if there is a player on any of those teams that was a former Saint, would you be happy for them if they did win a Super Bowl? Or in other words, by proxy, if one of your former players does win a Super Bowl, are you happy for them? Or are you just annoyed that they're no longer on your team?
Well, I'll be happy, though. But there's one thing, guys, got irritated, and that's Eli Apple. Like, he needs to keep his mouth shut and quit talking trash about the Saints and need to focus with the Bengals.
I understand that. And the reason why I bring this up is because actually for the Chicago Bears, there are 2 players that could be representing them. Understand that when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers, Robbie Gould's been one of the most elite and most clutch kickers in the NFL, was with the Chicago Bears for so many years, and then they let him go because they didn't want to pay him because, you know, paying a kicker obviously doesn't make any sense in the NFL, according to the Chicago Bears. So you have Robbie Gould out there in San Francisco, and then out there in Kansas City, they actually have Kyle Long, who was a long-time offensive tackle out there in Chicago. He is now in Kansas City. So as a Bears fan, if Kansas City wins, then, congratulations to Kyle Long. He wins his Super Bowl. And if by any chance the San Francisco 49ers win a Super Bowl, Robbie Gould finally gets one. So good for them. I'm going to step out. So I don't know if Dre's going to keep going. I don't know if you're going to keep going, Dalton. But, hey, I'm going to check out and see you later.
All right, bro. All right. I'm about to head out, and Dre, I know you're busy, but glad to have a show. And shout out to you all watching. You have a good night.